Caesar. Hey, Harry. Silver Sky. Yeah, here we are. Hey, Jeff. Trying to practice footsteps in the dark. Silver Sky made in the US, yes. Hey Jim, how you doing? I just need to text Chris. I've got the baby monitor back there. Feel free to leave questions if you've got any. I hope you're having a good Friday. Yeah, I've got a gig tomorrow night. Hopefully this is going to work. I don't have too much hope for it, it's generally yeah, if you've got anything you want to talk about, you know, keep it fairly reasonable. We can talk about stuff. I'll just be here. I could be potentially here for about 3 hours, and that's not a threat. When I play, do I think about modes? Generally no, but I could apply some sort of mode stuff here. Hamza, here we are. I did a video for you the other day. So we get a C, then like an A major, then an F sharp minor, then a B minor. So the C I'm treating as C Ionian, and then the A is A Ion. And there, I was treating it as C Lydian instead. So I can think in modes, I generally don't. I generally don't find it terribly useful if you're playing most pop music. Just do some chord stuff. You want the final question? just pause that a second. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Just let me know. Hamza spotted waves there. I like to drop that into stuff occasionally. Mr. Mellors, I'm not going to try and say your first name. Gawain? Would that be right? Love your vids on the Boss GX100. I almost did a video on that, started doing one today. If you're requesting an 80s sort of inspired tone, I think that could be a good shout. Yeah, I'll do that. Nectarius asks, Nectarius, have you been gigging amps lately? Any gig that I've done in the last... There's like some very specific exceptions where it's just in ears, and like so there was a gig that I did where I don't know if you remember, I did that trying to play the Eddie Van Halen solo live. I didn't use an amp for that gig. I took along a Fender FR12, but the guy that I was playing for said he'd prefer it if I didn't use a cab on stage, so it was just in ears. And then I think there was one other gig in the summer where I just used FM9. Other than that, there's an amp on stage every time alongside my modeler. So the modeler goes to the front of house and there'll be an amp on stage. It's been Deluxe Reverb or the Rift Matchless Lightning clone, which they call the Rift Dexter. I did one gig with the Pro Reverb with Jake. I've got a gig tomorrow in a pub with Jake at Lyme Regis to ship in, and for that I'll be taking an amp, probably Deluxe Reverb. I want to try gigging Deluxe Reverb more. I did one gig with the Supro Black Magic because I wanted to test that before I did a video on it. So yeah, that's generally there'll be an amp. I don't have that many gigs at this time of year though, so it's a bit of a thing. I did a gig with Will Edmonds at the Newt in Somerset, like a jazz gig. I took a Deluxe Reverb for that. Using the Stomp or the Quad Cortex. I'm using the Helix here. I don't have a Quad Cortex, by the way. Anudi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong as well. I'm not good with names. But yeah, I don't have a Quad Cortex. I actually sold the Nano as well because I wanted to put some more money into the mortgage. So Daniel Weiss, I recognise the name. Hey John, great to see you. How do you manage to release so many videos without feeling burned out or running out of ideas? So I think probably most of the chat will say that I ran out of years about 3 or 4 years ago. But I just love playing guitar every day. And it feels like quite a lucky position to be in where I get to kind of make a video and make a good living off it. And I'm sure at some point it'll peter off or peter down, but I appreciate that some people probably find it a bit overwhelming or would rather I uploaded less videos, but for me it's kind of quite a interesting sort of mode of being for now. So yeah, hopefully some of you guys stick around for the ride, but in terms of ideas, it's kind of just reacting to what's happening in the world, in the guitar world, or things that I'm genuinely interested in. These days I also get asked to do demos for companies and stuff, so like the last few days have actually been a bit full on in terms of demos. So there was that Moore Looper, there was the Enya guitar, what else was there? But I tried to kind of keep it like a balance of stuff. You should play your Telecaster more, it sounds great, Hamza says. Do you mean the Twattercaster? Do you sometimes have problems with your body if you play so often? If yes, what do you do about it? So these days I don't. I've talked about this before. Hand health is a thing that definitely I think we should worry about as players. So one of the things that used to happen, I used to play keyboard in a band, and if I had like 2 or 3 gigs on the weekend, my left hand would be doing a lot of stretching for octaves, and so that would then start to feel a bit weird along the back of my hand. Since I don't do those types of gigs anymore, I don't get those kind of problems. I guess the other thing that you might find is that if you do stuff in normal life like gardening or repetitive things that you maybe don't even think about when you're doing them, I didn't mean it like weirdness, but like if you were, I don't know, pruning a bush or something like that, that doesn't sound so euphemistic, then you sometimes find, or like labouring or something, do you know what I mean? Or I used to live on a farm, you know, that sort of thing. You can start to feel things in your hands. So just be wary of them. Take things like garlic supplements. I still take some of them. I think that's a good thing. As a fellow dad, I kind of miss the days when I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, checking on my young kids. That's cool. Yeah, so there's I don't know, you could probably see it there actually, yeah. That's the kid in bed. Got the old, alright, I can show you, this isn't weird, is it? John's work ethic is legendary. I know personally if he's not made a 15-minute vibe, 2 p.m.'s furious. There's 2 videos by then, Jim, actually, so, yeah. I know it's not work, is it? But I think there is something to be said for trying to do something consistently. And this was a thing I'm going to probably do a video on at some point in terms of what you can get done with like a small amount of time. Because I think that's one of the things that probably, I don't know how old some of us are here, but I'm going to guess you're like in a similar sort of age range to me or my dad or something like that. But yeah, Jim's got it right. Cut down on the wanking, unless it's fretboard wanking. No, but it's normally left-hand stuff. What we're generally concerned with, Jim. George is 60, so maybe George has some more time at this point. So my dad's retired now, so I think he's got some time. Harry says he's 45. That's cool. So we've got some ages, we've got a range. But I think certainly for me, now that I've had a kid, I do understand a little bit more. It's like to not have as much time. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think before you've had a kid, it's a bit like, it's hard to grasp. Do you know what I mean? So now most of my guitar playing happens to be on video. Hamza, you're never too young to be here. It's just one of those things. Maybe you could appreciate appreciate youth while you have it, at least. I'm 35, by the way, so I'm, not young anymore. But yes, this is one of the things, trying to fit some amount of like meaningful practice so you can progress even if you've got a short amount of time. And I was listening to Luke Thomas, an MMA guy, and he was talking about like if you only had 20 minutes to read a day, that you'd get, Noah's 24. Have we got anyone younger than 24 here? Yeah, that you'd be able to fit a lot in if you manage to do it every single day. Like, and maybe commit to trying to do something every single day. That's what the channel has become for me. And, you see some pretty cool things happen from unremarkable things like that. And so I'm thinking about trying to build up some speed. So I'm trying to like allocate maybe 10, 20 minutes a day. Haven't decided what, just to do sort of things that I would have done as a kid and try to literally just build up speed as much as possible or something like that, and see if it's possible to add some sort of real speed, in your 30s. It's interesting to me, at least, to try it, because I could probably commit to sort of 10, 20 minutes a day if you do that for a week. What's that? So, a third of 7 hours, whatever that would be. You know what I mean? I don't know, so a lot of rambling. Let me go back to play some guitar. Feel free to ask some more questions. Best guitar, Strat, S-Type, did you say? Under $1,000. Think of the options. What are the options? The Tokai Strat is a bit over that, like £1,200, I think. A Mexican Player 2 is not bad. What else is there? FGN makes some fairly modern style stuff that is pretty good. The Silver Sky SE is pretty good. Maybe the Schecter Nick Johnson is not the most stratty Strat in the world, but that's not a bad shout. I reckon the Schecter Nick Johnson, if you're into the specs of it. Have you gigged with the Helix instead of other options like this Stomp XL? I gig with the Stomp XL, but have to use it with other pedals usually. I'm thinking about upgrading to the Helix, but can't decide. So between you and me, I don't have any information about there being anything coming soon or anything, but 10 years after the Helix has come out, I would say it might be not the best time to buy a Helix. Is all. And I've been saying this for a couple of years, but I'd still say like waiting seems like the thing to do. Hey John, what are only hammer on legato and how do you use it? So I'll just talk it through. So is this a bit of an Alan Holdsworth niche type thing? No, I started playing on my 8th birthday. I played piano for 3 years before that. So we're aiming to, instead of doing pull-offs, you kind of maybe I shouldn't do it over the context of that. So instead of pulling off, you're aiming to have one finger on the fretboard at a time for hammer on all the time. It's a bit of a weird technique. I would say, so there's a guy called Marshall Harrison who kind of talks about this a lot. Alan Holdsworth seems to do a bit of hammering on all the time, but also mixing in a bit of pull-offs. So I think I personally can't necessarily do hammer on only stuff with much and I guess one of the things that is used to being anchored is your index. So something like that. Dominic asks, have you still got the Royal Overdrive pedal and would you size it up to the J-Rocket pedals? You've read my mind. I've actually got a video in the works on this, the best Dumble pedals I've tried. So yeah. The feel of the Van Wilden Royal Overdrive is very sort of squishy. There's like a sag to it, which other pedals don't seem to do. When we'll be seeing the new telly, I don't have a new telly, Jim, I'm sorry. Muting tips. So muting sort of from this side, so with the fleshy part of your hand, and then from this side underneath is the idea. I don't still listen to Marco Sfoli, but I did really love his playing on the James Labrie album. And that solo's amazing. Custom shop from the USA? Or do you mean the Nacho? It's from Spain, isn't it? Everybody says, how do you manage to get the very smooth Eric Johnson style drive sound on every amp you play? Is it about reverb and delay? I wouldn't say. So I just generally look for. I find it much easier to dial in that sort of thing on a modeler than on an amp. To be honest with you, the amp sort of stuff I find it a little bit more challenging. But I guess the pedals that I use most of the time would be for that sort of thing. I've got a tube driver that Lowell sent me. The Nacho is a loose small loaner. Yeah, that's right. Hey John, hope you're doing well. Do I still use the Nux MG30, New X MG30? I don't have a New X MG30 at the moment, no. No, I can't keep everything. generally. I don't have enough space. Yeah, the Nacho is Jake's. He's gigging it tonight at the Foundry in Torquay. But the tube driver, I would say I'm not using in most videos. So if you're finding, I don't know, could you specifically give me an idea of which videos you're talking about where I got that specific tone? Because I guess there's a 2Rock Classic Reverb video that I did, which has some of that Eric Johnson vibe to it. Have I used a steel string pedal? Is that the Vertex one? The answer would be no. Ah, bollocks. Let's record that loop again then. Right. Joe, you got some BAM guitars? They actually used to ask me to demo them, so maybe I should email them back. 1, 2. Well, I need to try this. 1, 2, 3. Sure, that'd be a shout, but I'll contact them first. I wish you jam with Tom Quayle. I'm seeing Baby on Sunday. Been to Tony's new house yet, Joel? Room looking out over the garden seems really nice. Harpen asks, what do you prefer, Hotone Ampere Stage 2 or Boss GX100? I'd say the Hotone Ampere Stage 2, I like the form factor a little better. This is the American Silver Sky, yeah, John. What else? And then the Boss GX100 is pretty solid, but I think the amount of amp choices in the Hotone I kind of prefer. The Boss GX100 is a lot more powerful, is that like you can fit 2 amps in there and loads more effects, whereas the Hotone Ampere stage is actually not that powerful. What about these nuts? Exactly. That's what we've all been saying there. What are your thoughts on the new Sire lineup? How new is it? When we talking? Is there new ones since last year? Should we do a reacts to the Sire lineup? Let me have a look at it. New models for Sire. I'm just gonna 2025 models. Google this. New lightweight headless guitars. Well, that's a shame, innit? I'm trying. What's that? X6. I cannot. Gen. What is this stuff? Right, accept. I'm just looking at gear news. T3 new gen, Skyburst. So those are just tellies. Are they actually available yet? Q3. So they're like PRSs. Interesting. And then the i5 is like a weird looking, sort of looks like an Ibanez Towman. I don't know. Are there any of those that stand out to you? We've got compound fretboard radius on the S7. Fretboard looks a bit different. Medium jumbo frets. There's like a little bit of a facelift, not worlds different. More maple and less rosewood. I don't know. Don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I've not tried the Steve Lukather thing. No. Dustin asks, Helix related. I know you did a video using the preamps in the Line 6. How would you use a preamp nowadays to go from a Fender Clean to a Marshall? How do you mean? The Sire S7s have... Do they? Stainless frets. It says medium jumbo frets. It doesn't say stainless on that, but you could be right. The Toman is not saying that it has any stainless frets. Do you play any gospel at church? I grew up in church, but I wouldn't call it gospel. It's more like contemporary white churchy stuff. Cheaper alternatives to a Les Paul? I don't know. Epiphone makes some more right ones, don't they? Sire, Larry Carlton, their Les Paul version's okay. Pretty good. I've not played a Cort G300 Pro, but Cort tend to make pretty much all of these guitars out of Indonesia. Most of them, right? Dustin, when you say about preamps, Fender Clean to a Marshall, could you be more specific? Are you talking about into an amp? I've not checked out the Charvel. Hillsong Bethel patches, you make a killing. I mean, are they not quite well covered already? I feel like the worship tutorials guys have got that market sort of covered, right? It just feels like Noel Gallagher Epiphone is a must try. Fair shout. I'm looking at the what picks do you use, what thickness. I use D'Addario Black Ice, 1.5 millimeters. So I'm just trying to look up these size. I mean, that Q7 looks quite cool, but the stuff that I'm reading about maybe I've not got the right stuff. The new gen and all this stuff. They've got Graphtec Tuscany. It says 22 medium jumbo frets, but I am being told by you guys that it is stainless, so I'll believe you on that. 9.6 Podgo or Headrush MX5, considering the latest. I would go HX Stomp over either of those, to be honest. Kratos. Sorry, that's neither option, but... What colour is yours, Luke? So I've got to play this tune tomorrow, Footsteps in the Dark. Sorry, that's awful. Oh, the White Forest. What did you get instead of a Silver Sky? Having played the Ibanez AZ Standard, I wouldn't be super quick to jump on another guitar with stainless frets if I wasn't sure that it had been quite well polished. That's one thing. Some of the Sire guitars that I've had in the past, they don't come out of the factory with the super polished frets, and if they're stainless on top of that, you're gonna have a fairly rough experience, I think. Dual lamp patch switch PSP. I kind of use like a litigator is what I tend to use, or maybe even a Grammatico GSG, somewhere between Fender and can do some higher gain stuff as well. A couple warm audio preamps. Footsteps in the Dark, the one sampled, Ice Cube, and also them changes, Thundercat. Thanks everyone for stopping in. If you do feel like using the super chat, feel free, but I'm going to read this chat anyway. Yeah, if you can find someone to work on stainless frets, in general I'm not going to need them fixed if they're well polished, like the Yamaha Pacifica that I've tried. But, yeah, like you say, if you find somebody who can work on them, they're going to be a bit more expensive, I think, in general. Really cool exercise that you hear people talk about quite a lot is if you've got something that goes between two keys, trying to stay within the same area on the fretboard so that you're not moving. They do if they're not stainless, right, John? That's kind of the issue though, if they're stainless and playing a lot, you're going to take a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot of playing to actually polish the stainless one, right? Yeah, stay in the same bit of the fretboard. can actually then mean that you might have like these areas of the fretboard where, like, say C major, I might be happy up here, but I might be less happy with the like A major version up there. The other thing to do is to try and like leap as short a way, so like try and do either a semitone or just a tone. Jimmy, 4 thumbs. 4 thumbs up. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. It helps pay for my dodgy internet. Anyone out there got an NXR Rockman? Has anyone managed to get their hands on one yet? Anyone else going to the guitar show at the weekend? I happen to be. I might see some of you if you're going to be there on Sunday. Please don't punch me in the face. Is my only request. Have you had a guitar with titanium saddles? AZ Prestige have them, and the strings eat into them strangely. I had to sand them so the strings don't get stuck in the grooves. That's odd. I don't think so. I think generally most of the guitars, because I'm preferable to Strat stuff, would be bent steel, right? Hey Arch, which of these would you choose? PRS DGT SE, Yamaha Revstar, Ibanez AZ Standard. I would go DGT SE all day over those. So the Ibanez AZ Standard I've started doing a video on this. Like, I'm very impressed with it, except the frets, like, under polished on a stainless guitar, just doesn't feel nice. It'd be what I say. Rockman still only pre-order in Australia. Yeah, I can't find them anywhere. I was going to make a video on it, but I thought maybe it might just annoy people. Just like asking what's happened here, because I want one. And there's like been 500,000 views on like Pete Thorne, Leon Todd, and RJ's video. It's kind of like they've created the demand. Like, where is it? John's there tomorrow. I'll be there on the Sunday is the plan. Hopefully. Dustin asked, what music have I been listening to lately to inspire creativity? I listen in the car a lot to smooth country radio, because that's one place where you do hear quite a lot of guitar playing from a few guys, you know, like Tom Bukovac is obviously on a lot of country records these days. Sol Philcox Littlefield, who has a True Fire course, incidentally. Derek Wells, as well, who is one of those guys, and Rob McNelly. Yeah, you guys are always the last. I guess, except for like head first amps, maybe you can get those cheaper than the rest of us can. Those things, I listened to 1975 quite a lot for sort of just tunes that I like to sing along to. And then if I have gigs like this weekend, I've got to play. That sort of thing. Other things, I need to listen to Thomas Griggs' new couple of tunes that he put out. I haven't yet. Yeah, it's like sad ballads I quite like listening to. So like this is a tune called Don't Mind If I Do by Ella Langley and Riley Green. Hey Sam. Luke, no, this is actually just called Livestream. I actually told Tom Bukovac that he played on my favourite song of the year, but he didn't reply. I think he's a fan. Oh, I really liked a song out of Wicked as well. So my wife made me watch that. Right, any other questions? Got a Rockman? I've never played a Paul's guitar, Ian. See you at the pub, Jim. have to be discouraged by Jennifer specifically. I don't know. Things are all right. Silver Grizz asks to think about replacing the UA Golden, UA Starlight, and Keeley Hydra with the Fractal VP4. What's your thoughts? I really like the Fractal VP4. If you're going that way, I really think you can't beat the Fractal FM3 for value for money. And then you get like into the amp modeling part of it too, which my buddy Jake has got my FM3 at the moment. He's going to be using it on some gigs, and he's really, really loved it. I think he gigged it last weekend. Hero Glop says, hi, are you in the UK? Well, first of all, Hero Glop might be my favourite name I've ever read. And yes, I'm in Exeter, or near Exeter, my neighbour. Derek asks, how long am I streaming? Well, we'll see how long it goes. It's not ruined itself today. Sam prefers the spring in the UA Golden. Fractal, I've updated their springs relatively recently. I don't know if you've tried that yet or not. I'd say recently, it's probably like a year ago now, isn't it? I'll stream as long as I can. It's fun to hang out. Does your Patreon page include all lessons? Yeah. Should do anyway. I've not uploaded the one on the last video just yet. But yeah, it's all available there. It's like £2 to £3 a month, depending on if you want to go £2. I brought that in. So Patreon asks you to put the price up. But I thought actually I'll do the opposite, so that hopefully more people join and pay less. We'll see how that goes. But there is also a £5 tier where there's full transcriptions every month. So this month there was a transcription of She's Leaving Home that I did a long time ago. Yeah, I just love playing sad songs. It's okay to be discouraged, Jennifer, as well. Just ride that feeling. Jim is losing his nerve an awful lot. Hero says, I think you are a fan of Polytune. Do you know the Pedal Brute EQ? There was no good reviews or demos. I'm always waiting for a good one before buying one. Any chance it's a small builder? Tell them that I'd be interested if you want. They can email me. Have I done anything with Polytune? You ever miss performing in an originals band? No, Steve, because there's zero money in it. Unless you're huge. I'm actually off now, but wanted to leave you with a final thought. What did John make me want to take my guitar and play for 1 week straight? Do it. If I could, I would do that. I blanked you, Sam. Did it go through? I would, if I had seen. If I had seen your message, Sam, you should have messaged me on Patreon, on Facebook, given that we talk on there. If I had seen it, I would have. Are you constantly switching between modelers? I'm constantly changing between FM9, Cortex, and HX Stomp. They feel included, yeah. I tend to use Helix Native basically most of the time these days. If I'm gigging, there's a HX Stomp on my pedal board. If I'm doing a gig that I don't need a pedal board for, I take the FM9 if it was just an in-ears gig. But not constantly switching, no. If I'm just thinking, right, I want to sit down and just play guitar, it normally just plugging straight into Native is my preferred workflow. Hello from Ukraine, Sergey, can you show how your vocabulary is suitable for blues? I think it's probably not suitable for blues. What sort of blues do you want me to try and play? Let me just check the set list actually, because there's a Worried Life Blues is sometimes in the set. Just check the set list because there might be some blues. Who's KD? Oh, Kingdom Come. Yes. I can't believe Jim's dipping out on us to go to the pub. Lovely loop there. Yes, Don't Mind If I Do by Ella Langley and Riley Green. Let's keep the worship real. Got a run. Right, enjoy Severance. We just finished Yellowstone. If there was one piece of advice I could give to everyone, is don't watch season 5 of Yellowstone. Right, what was I looking for? The set list. Because there'll be some blues in it. Brilliant. He sent it as a Spotify playlist. Useful. Copied clipboard. Actually, cheers, Mr. Cordy. Sir, never felt compelled to super thank anyone before, but I watched so many videos that it was probably time to give something back. Also, it's a payday, so I actually have some money. Well, that's incredibly generous of you. Actually, quite nice, Rob. I really appreciate that. That is actually very nice of you. So I've got Every Day I Have the Blues, Get Lucky, New Shoes, What's Going On, Tennessee Whiskey, Ain't No Sunshine, Angel. Let's keep going through. Is there a blues here? Worried Life Blues is in here. Stopped halfway through season 5. Yes, don't go back in. Right, let me figure out how that song goes again. Watch it rain with super. I don't want to milk the audience too much, John. It's fine. I do all right money-wise. It's just really appreciated when you guys do contribute, but you're spending a lot of time watching this stuff. Big fan of Ukraine since the Great Offence. Drive to Survive soon. They need to make a Drive to Survive for gigging musicians. Univibe to Survive. Tried any Rev amps? No, I've emailed them asking if I could demo their Rev Dynamis, but I didn't hear back. Someone should message them and say, message John. I did eventually get an email back. I've got to contact Derek apparently. But Rev Dynamis 40 I wanted to demo. Alright, so this is me trying to play the Worry Life Blues. This is quite a hard key to play in. Like C sharp. That was not what I expected. Guitar's not holding its tune amazingly well if I do all the bends. I love Gary Moore, he's my favourite guitar hero. That's a very flattering comment, by the way. Given he's my favourite guitarist for a long time. Yeah, this is like pretty firmly in there. It's got 4 springs. This is just how it was when I bought it. And I have D'Addario coated strings, but 9.5s. Everything would need work to match Gary Moore. He actually gigged once a mile up the road, or not even a mile, at a place called Killerton House. tune my guitar quickly. Right, what should we do? Let's talk about something else. Less note sustain in a blues context. I have to go back and listen to Gary again. Yeah, I don't know. It's just Gary's amazing. Isn't he? Did you check out Corey Wong on that pedal show? Brought his Cortex, so maybe an episode with you and Electric Stomp isn't too far away. I don't think they're. Also, like, there's not any. I don't think anyone needs any more of me. I've met Mick and I've been to that pedal show. I've played Mick's amp and stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's any need for me to be on the show. Like, there's no good reason. Like, I've got nothing to talk about particularly about it. And it's not that anyone needs anyone to talk more. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I did know that he took a quad cortex on there. Yeah, and I thought it should have brought his Dumble, right? Hero Glop says it's not illegal to wear grey and have a grey guitar in the grey UK. It's actually the thing to do. Who is squeaking? There's a dog snoring. Also got grey boots on. Right, let's try something less bluesy. What's the one I used to play off of his album? If you're colourblind, then he's always in grey. Is that how colourblindness works? Oh, haven't. So I've got to play this tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Well, that didn't work. Right, let's try that again. 2, 3. This guitar is still not in tune. Let me tune it. Right. Sorry, I did a joke. I used to think the Helix tuner was fine, and I did some minor blues. What other chord grade can I throw into minor blues? Hey Josh, do I recommend an FR speaker for Stomp? If so, which one? The Fender FR12 is cool, and also the Tonex cab is cool. I think actually I maybe marginally give the edge to the Tonex cab for having that feature there what's it called, like live thing, the direct to live blend. I thought that was actually quite a neat little feature, but one of those two I would say are pretty good balance. You could go to the like flat 6 before you go back to the 5 in like a minor blues. I don't know, let's try minor blues. 1, 2. Like all blues. You could go to a major 4. Yeah, at home I would say a studio monitor works better than an FRFR. Those are some chords that I quite like in a minor blues. Yeah, a bit of blues and jazz can go a long way, can't it? Let me try and get in Village, I was into like prog metal, like Dream Theater growing up, and Circus Maximus. I don't know if you might have heard of them. And then also from that got into like Tesseract and Periphery, Sugar, some heavier stuff, but not too much of like the more classic prog like Marillion and stuff like that. It's not stuff that I listened to anywhere near as much. Right, so over the E, we're going to play a C. Play a C augmented over it, right? Feel free to leave some questions if you've got any. If anyone's got any super chat sort of stuff they want to splash in, that's very welcome. Hey Tom. Tom, you were actually responsible for, I think, one of my best performing videos ever. Not that I look at this stuff too much, but after I did that video where we were taught, yeah, that one ended up doing very well. So thanks for giving me the ideas for that video. Royalties, yeah, loads. I understand all chord subs and modes you play now, but you're not able to improvise blues. I'd say maybe listen to some blues like John Mayer is a perfectly fine. I think John Mayer was what got me back into the blues a little bit, because at uni before that I was into things like prog a lot. John Mayer is like a gateway back into your blues. Listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, Robin Ford, John Mayer. I mean, that's probably blasphemy to put those together, but I think he's done some super valid stuff, especially the Trio album. What else? And Landau, amazing player. Rory Gallagher I've not listened to tons of, and Gary Moore I listened to a lot as a kid and played along with like. That's a good joke, Tom. I'm not repeating that. Mid pickup. Yeah, sorry, I never do this. pick behind it. Sorry, I keep... I'll shout the chords out for you now, Hero. So that's an A minor, that's an E7, and that's an A minor. E7, so we're going A minor, switch to D minor, A minor again, A7 to the D minor, D minor, and then back to A minor. Then an F9, then an E altered, down to a D9, A, up to the E, back to A minor. I'll just talk it through one more time if you want to write it down. So we've got A minor, D minor, A minor, A7 to D minor, A minor, up to the F9, to the E, altered, to the D9, A minor, E7, back to A minor. And I'll talk about how I'm thinking about each chord. So, right, A minor. So I'm just thinking about C major as home for here, then A7 to the D minor. So I'd hit an arpeggio for that. Then I'm thinking F7. For that D9, I could think of a melodic minor if I was trying to be a bit out there, or I could think probably good. I like to hear when people are jamming. Then jump up to the C minor here. Then fall back down for that. So you could do it. Let's just do it simple. We're going A minor the whole way now. Jump up to C minor pentatonic. Right, C minor pentatonic, falling down to a G sharp, because we're getting that E7, I'm targeting the third of the E7 so that I know when I come out of the C minor pentatonic, I'm going to be back where I want to be. another thing I saw Matt Schofield talk about on his True Fire thing is about knowing, even within the pentatonic, where your kind of root notes are. And so then when you're changing like to chord 4 or 5, try and hit like your root. Try for the E to hit a C. Hey Adam, hope you're well. What happened to your... It is you, isn't it, with your Fender Ultra? The E. Could hit a C augmented for the E, or an E augmented, or a G sharp. I just thought I'd played the K line for like the last 3 or 4 live streams. Try and do some altered. Oh, sorry. With more questions. If you want to like, you can. I never ask you to like, but if you want to, that might help other people find this. Let's ask questions if you've got any. Let's keep this happening. Been on an hour and a half. We're going to go for as long as you guys want. Have we had enough of the blues yet? I think I might have had enough of the blues. F melodic minor over E7, of course. Yeah, exactly. As long as we want. Exactly, Derek. Within reason, of course. But, you know, if you want me to go slightly longer, just drop in a super chat and I'll see what happens. Derek is in the States. He's got all day. Right, anyone want to talk about anything else? Right. Think about something else that I should practice for tomorrow. The, says hello. Hello, Adam's daughter. Hero Glop says, I have discovered recently Lola Young between... I've never heard of Lola Young. Steve says, any advice for those who play in noisy rock bands about playing over a riffy progression with quick chord changes? Could you give me an example, Steve? And I can try and play through it. Normally what I think with rocky stuff is it's simpler not to think about the changes too much. Where did I study music? At home. I don't know the song, Messi. Sorry. My wife's just asked, did the kid get... Who? Did the kid go to sleep? Yeah, study music at home mostly. I had piano lessons from the age of about 5, and then started guitar at 8. Usually probably is big in the UK. I don't really tend to listen to much except like country and stuff that I like. I don't listen to like other radio stuff much. Steve, if you give me a progression that you're thinking of, then I can sort of talk you through some stuff. Clissado, how do you keep the groups of 5 clean? I have no idea. I don't think I can play it, Andrew. Let me... I don't actually know it, so I've got no idea. I've never learnt that song properly. How to think of hand. Thinking of your own stuff. Well, that doesn't help me, Steve, does it? Give me, like, an example. Just think of one. I think a big key to the 5s thing is that both him and Joe Bonamassa are doing, like, a weird economy thing. And it doesn't really suit me well. Because I'm like quite a strict alternate picker generally. Who does that sort of thing, right? And I can't do like the economy thing it doesn't feel... Suits me more to do like 6s, to be honest. It is weird if you alternate, you know, like. Last downstroke of the 5 do it's a pull off. Nah, it doesn't work for me at all. If I just alternate pick the whole thing, it probably works better. Yes, Elodie was in it, yeah. She doesn't like to come in that room anymore when I'm playing guitar, which I'm sort of sad about because it was quite fun to have her. Have you heard Anton Aparin, Russian alternate picking king? I've heard Spiro, and the name Anton sounds familiar. How do you keep your tone from being harsh without getting muddy? The Eric Johnson thing is apparently to keep this bad boy here about halfway, the tone, if you've got tone on your bridge pickup. For me, in most modelers, I would use the high cut on the cab, take that down to about 4K, and then that works pretty well. I was thinking about like this economy picking bit. So, is this right? So if I go, that's economy, right? That sort of thing. Down I could do a bit better. But alternate just feels more natural to me. Caesar asks, is my wife also a musician? She's a singer, yeah. That's how we met. It just doesn't work. You use the Dario strings, yes, Adam. Develop melodic playing. I would say listen to lots of melodies and try and play melodies that you like the sound of. So I'm gonna what's the song I'm playing? What's Going On Now? There's this solo part. Middle, hold on. So, I need to practice that little bit there, actually, a bit more. This is like always the bit of it that catches me out. So there's a 2-5-1 in A, a 2-5-1 in A flat, back down to A flat, A minor. Ian says, as an old age beginner with small hands, is there a technique to practice that would improve my speed and fluidity over the fretboard? I don't think there's one technique. A thing I did a lot of as a kid is this. You know, just playing scales all up and down the fretboard all of the time. But I think the thing that is difficult to imagine is just how much time was spent doing that sort of thing as a kid, and for people that start later on in life, I think that's the one thing that they sort of underestimate. So like as a kid, for 2 hours every single day, I'd be doing that sort of thing. But hybrid and legato might be, I don't know, John's got some suggestions there, but picking in general, I think, is what maybe one of the hardest ways to get fast, because it's using two hands and you've got to sync things up. Yeah, actually quite nice, Rob. Very thanks for that. And yeah, but yeah, there's not any one technique. I'd be seeking out the thing that feels most natural to you. But the other thing is that to then bear in mind that, so how old am I? I'm 35 and I've been playing since I'm 8. Like, I'm quite a long way into this, do you know what I mean? And the sheer amount of time put into it is not to be underestimated. But, you know, try things. See what works. See what technique feels most natural to you. Watch videos that people are telling you how they managed to start playing faster. And try those things. More importantly than anything is to do practice, you know, regularly, I think. And I'm going to do a few videos trying to like build up some more speed for myself. Alternate picking is definitely the hardest. Anton Apparent did like a 2-hour video where he shows even great players have terrible alternate picking, even Guthrie Govan. That sounds like a controversial video. Our alternate picker's ripping us off. Right. Work better than it did. Twisted lines. Any suggestion on how to break a habit of playing the same lick chords as soon as I pick up my guitar? I do that. Hey Arch, see you later. Yeah, it should be up. I won't take it down unless I say something aggressively, but it should be up. Arch, cheers for stopping by. Hope you have a good evening. I hope whatever you're going to do now is better. Yeah, musical ideas, like Sergey says, but I think that is a factor that people often, the thing that interests you and want to work on is like the only thing you're really going to put attention into. So if that is the thing like, oh, I'd like to play something faster, then it's perfectly valid time to practice. And also I think things that I practiced a lot of do mean that specifically the major scale, I see quite well all over the neck, the shapes and stuff, and I'm able to sort of navigate those quite okay. And I think that is partly because I spent so much time as a kid sort of drilling through the 3 note per string shapes. Right, yeah, so you pick up a guitar and you're playing the same licks every time. What I would maybe suggest to be, and this is another idea that I had for a video, which is around this idea of, because someone asked this on the last stream about plateauing, and I think that is definitely a feeling that a lot of people have. But it depends, like, at what stage in your life are you? Like, are you working 40 hours a week? And you come home and you're knackered? Do you have a young kid? All these sorts of questions where it's like having a realistic target for what you could actually do, I think is important. And maybe setting yourself a much smaller goal than you expect. So something like, all right, this is for me what I'm thinking, like 10 to 20 minutes a day, just really work on trying to play something fast and see where that takes me in like a month or something like that. Rather than, the days of me being able to practice 7 hours a day, those are gone. But I can probably commit sort of 10, 20 minutes, and can you get something important done in that time? Probably, if you're kind of consistent with it. I think is the goal anyway. Right, so what was I talking about here? I'm trying to play over B minor, E7, A flat, E7. So, maybe I should just loop those. Nah, let's not rely on the loop. Right, so here's a section, a set of changes which I don't necessarily feel like I've got a great handle of. So what I should be doing here, if we're going from B minor to E7, what I should do is figure out what B minor to E7 looks like all over the fretboard. So let's do some arpeggio type stuff. Yeah, but guitar is a valid way to spend time. I've just totally just find what you're passionate about and what actually makes you want to pick the thing up. Productivity. I think it's just having low standards. I've got a Matteo Mancuso lick that I really want to break down. I just haven't got round to it yet because I've got to trying to take Sunday off so I can go to Birmingham Guitar Show. So I need to bank some stuff, which is the challenge of committing to doing 2 videos a day. Right, where was I? E minor, B minor. So I'm just going to try and join up B minor to E7. In a few places, so. Now we've got one up here, so that's good. Ah. So we're going. Cheers, Tim. Hope you're doing well, bud. Right, so. Go to legato pattern. Action preference is like medium, maybe higher than you'd expect. Go to legato pattern is this. So, I'll just do it in context. Here. trem is decked, yes, Adam. It only goes down, but even it doesn't really want to go down particularly either. So what I should be doing here let's just really, and this is kind of the thing about practicing as well, there's a whole chunk of that tune there where I don't really need to practice it too much. Like I can happily play with the vamp. If you're practicing something and practicing it, it should maybe be sometimes, this is what I mean, like about, like, are you practicing, are you wanting to practice, or is this like a time in your life where it's like you've got no time to really practice, so actually just playing guitar is in and of itself like your time to relax. You know, you don't necessarily want to be pushing super hard with a metronome if you guys have like serious stressful jobs, do you know what I mean? And like kids that are going to slap you in the face when you're trying to practice. Here we go, so now I've got this. I need to get it to be less of a calamity than that. Right, let's try it. 1, 2. Now we've got a drill, right? Kids, that's good work, Kerry. Ah. Right, here we go then. That one's quite nice. So what I should be thinking in my head is, then back to G. So let's now, armed with that, see if we get any further than that then. 2, 3. Sorry, some of this is really horrible, and I guess that is the point of practice, right? So over the B. And then over the... That would be quite nice. And then over the A part. Have you seen the Lamb live stream on Monday evenings? Great player. No, I haven't. Jazzy version of that part from Lonely in the Night. Let's try that. Right, wait. I just want to find an ending for it. Hey. Missed by a fret. How are you back in the pub already? Not a very successful day, Jim. Got a gig tonight. Where is it, Adam? Very late to your gig. E. bit of a light bulb go off in my head now, where I'm starting to see opportunities because of this repetitive practice. So that's a good thing. Can I play with chord voicings? No, some chord. Take breaks when you're practicing. Okay, who else is jamming with drum right now? I hope you're doing better than me. Right, anyone want to chat about anything else and talk about things? Feel free to use the super chat if you want to. It's been 2 hours and 9 minutes now, so... Mac, do you use height of the pickups only by ear or any measurements? No, I just set them quite low. Generally, is the way I tend to go on things. I've kind of learned that from sort of noticing that my K-line Springfield had them very low. Very low, so I wanted to sort of keep that thing. I don't tend to change pickup heights on guitars that I'm demoing, just because I think generally those... Have you checked out the Court G300? You're the second person to ask today, actually, by the way, so maybe I definitely should, I guess. I don't know who to contact at Court. Right, where was I? What was I saying? But yes, and then I noticed sort of, if you look at Truefire, Robin Ford's got his really low. Hey Chris, hope you're doing better now. But yeah, I find, well, there's science to it, isn't there? Like lower pickups pull on the strings less. And I tend to be someone that favours slightly lower output in general. I'm not necessarily... I do play with quite a lot of gain quite a lot of the time, but also I do play clean quite a lot of the time. Obviously, it's not like heavy styles that I'm playing. So yeah, I tend to go a little on the lower side in general. But that's kind of my preference. Adam says, I ordered his first sire. Which did you order? How did I get so addicted to this channel? I'm a keyboardist. That's cool. I used to play piano. I grew up playing piano, by the way. Endra. I just bought Silver Sky SE, thanks to you. Did you see the review where I opened it with a chainsaw? J3 Silver with... What is the J3? So is that like a Jaguar style or Jazzmaster? Oh yeah, like an offset. Yeah. Cool. Weird, I've never seen Larry Carlton actually play an offset. I'm sure he must have at some point. Yeah, I thought it's a bit interesting sort of diversion from where the Larry Carlton sire stuff first started off on it. I'm slightly worried about that. I was, it seems okay. My first guitar 4 years ago was a Cort G2 8000 DX, which I enjoy if that's any recommendation. Less stratitis. Are you doing anything Right, Jim, what are you doing now? He's come back from the pub mischievous. Ajax Stomp. It works really well. Check out the glitch delay. Actually, maybe email me and I'll send you some presets that I think might work quite nicely for a keyboard. What makes K-Line Guitars or your Silver Sky so good? K-Line Guitars is just a guy playing, a guy making guitars, right? And sort of a bit closer to what Fender would have been back in the day. In theory, you know, like not a big factory sort of run. So there's Chris and there's one other guy that works for him. I think that's part of why those K-Line guitars work well for me. Equally, the Silver Sky is just for me like the sort of specs that I like on a Strat, where it's like a slightly thicker neck. And I quite like a 7.25 radius. My Springfields are 10-inch. But for me, what I tend to go for, I get even like an American Vintage 2 that they sent. That was a really nice guitar. It was just a little heavier, whereas the Silver Skies tend to be a little bit lighter, and also Springfields tend to be a bit lighter too. Moore Looper is great. Prefer that to the Flammer you have. Just great features but huge chassis, and maybe I'll send it to you. Random thought I had the other day. Wonder what the split is between players who keep their fingers on their pick hand tucked into those who play with them extended out. This was a thing. I think the question really for you, as you're deciding on your pick technique, is what you find most natural. If you look at like Eddie Van Halen, his picking technique is totally bonkers to me. I play tucked, but I tend to, I think, balance or rest this pinky sometimes. But you see some players that can do that thing. I don't hook under, but I do rest on here. But always have them extended, and notice more and more players tucked in. I think it kind of looks a bit tidier tucked, maybe. Let me try and pick. Share us your favourite Spotify playlist. I don't have one. The E. F sharp minor, A major, E major, C. Let me just check I've read that right. What sort of tempo? Mac. Hey Andrew, welcome to the... It's really cool to have a keyboard player. Yeah, I did grades as a kid on piano. I think it's really helpful for theory. Sort of tempo. So E major, F sharp minor, A major, E major. I'm going to tune. To work, Twisted Line. Cheers. Idea, maybe your freeze pedal and how you use it and where it is in the signal chain. Thank you for all the videos and information. Cheers, Twisted. Caesar asked, do I still have the Yamaha Pacifica Pro? Yes, I do right now, although I don't really play it much. I did put it in a video the other day, Caesar. So tempo, so E major. Okay, so you want me to play with that sort of thing? What would I do? Well, it's kind of like... The neck is very thin. It's... I wouldn't say very thin. I'm using the Helix looper right now. Whoops, I've just... Now it's the 6 switch. Do you have the guitar pad on when using the Helix? No, because all my guitars are pretty low output. No, the wrench is actually not members, the wrench is moderators. Right, let's chuck that loop away and let's try something a little bit more, well, different tempo. Something like that, maybe. C. Anyone know that lick? The preset is just called Livestream. It's in the folder under Helix. It's like a matchless. Okay. Right, this has actually been a slightly more seamless live stream than usual. Please feel free, if you're feeling fruity, to use the super chat thing. I will beg. The sausages are being kept off of that sofa, yeah, because one of them has a really bad back. Either. So we keep them off of it, basically. No, the Silver Sky SE radius is 8.2-ish. This is not an SE, is it? This is a full fat one. Right, we're going to do a goal for. Is that working? Strolling through sunny fields. Yeah. I never found the 7.25 radius thing a prop. I don't quite get why flatter would be better. Like bends are easier. Maybe like sweep picking might be easier, where you could. Cheers, Adam. Have a good gig, buddy. Yeah, Chris, thanks so much for that. We've only got a little way to go and I'll down that water. Anyone got that one? House before the wife gets home. I made it into a pigsty. T-minus 3 hours and counting. The live stream will end before then. It should, unless my wife is cheating on me. So let's see whose wife gets home first. John, when you were playing, do you think more about the exact chord or more about the E major scale? I think more about E major, especially for this. Hey Hamza. It's Friday, isn't it? No one's got this lick yet. Might develop perfect pitch after all this. Well, there is a hope. And then I'm going to try and do a bunch of videos and then, yeah, use her, and then eventually she'll grow to hate music. That's not a joke about the art. Alright, I'm going to give it a good shake. Luckily there's not much in there. We're fine, it's just sparkling water, we're right. that's that done. I set another goal. What would I do? I set another goal. Gwyneth Paltrow's shilling alkaline water and saying she likes alkaline water with lemon. Didn't she also make a candle out of her pussy? So, you know. Right. Who's... My wife is texting me. Why are you furious? Right, hold on.
Just made you £8 to drink a tiny bit of flat sparkling water.
Yeah, that's the... Right, hold on. Let me stop this. Look, we're all friends here, mate.
Just paid you £8 to drink a tiny bit of flat sparkling water.
Yeah, well... How am I supposed to... If you would like to change chords to something else, would you play these chords? C major, G major, A minor, F major. Absolutely. There's a dent in this guitar. Don't cyclone. What is cycloning? Right, I'm sorry. I've got another bottle over there if you want. Let's set another goal. How do I set a new goal? Oh, that's the 20th super chat on the stream. Well, that's cool. Right, hold on. Top chat. I don't know how this goes. Goal achieved. Start another goal. This is so dumb. Oh, wait, hold on. I've set it to the really high tier, so you have to pay more money. No. I'll down another bottle of something. You should have been seeing what was in that bottle in the first place. Is it gosh? Well, you swirl the bottle really fast to make it basically a centrifuge, and then drink will go really fast. Australian bogan thing. Right, well. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I'll try that with the next bottle. Right. Chords. C major, G major. Two, three, four. Alright, let's try. Those are those chords. Double times slower with chord changes. Double times slower with chord changes. Oh, by the way, did anyone else have a funny day yesterday on Instagram? Because I've been hearing in some other people's chat that like the censors went rogue, and so people were watching like loads of awful stuff on Instagram. But I don't think that actually happened to me, luckily. So I'm glad about that. But Jim, normally we would have been sharing some reels, but apparently those things are like people get trodden by elephants and stuff. But I managed to miss all that. Well, we'll set a new target for that, Jim. Right, so far we talked about Two Girls, One Cup, we talked about Gwyneth Paltrow's Pussy Candles. Do we want to talk about anything more wholesome, or do we want to keep... Where are you at, Hamza? The Emirates what? What did the Emirates do? The Instagram still has... Has it happened to anyone else? Luckily, myself and Jim have got we've still got a very honed algorithm. New progression, you do 6, 1, 2, flat 7. Okay, pick a key as well then. And you talk while playing lead. It's kind of tricky. Let's try it. I'll do it over this. Once Derek gives me a key. E flat, okay, cool. So I'm going 6. So let me do the 6. That's not right. Hold on. Let's try again. I'm trying to think. Right, let's try it. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good, isn't it? It's gone off piece. Right, 1, 2. I'm thinking of cups and a go. 3, 4. I can a little bit. Yeah, it's E flat, start on the 6, up to the E flat, there's 1, then the 2, F minor, I stuck in a 2-5 instead of just going straight to the flat 7, and you play over the creep progression. Is that enough of this one? Keith, how you doing? Right. I think that would work better for me in some. Let me try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that is kind of close. Speaking words with notes opens up a whole. Oh, that's kind of easy to say. Right, you want me to play what? What? Creep? Please try that chord progression. What chord progression? Please try that chord progression. Which chord progression? Yes, Melody is being watched. Check. Evidence. She's being watched. We're all good. What chord progression do you want me to try, John? I noticed that we've fallen off the wagon in terms of trying to get this drink done. I don't think Creep. Do you want me to play Creep? Is that the one? Is that what you want me to play? Oh, that's not what you want me to play. That progression being what? B major. What? What are you writing? Right, B flat major. But this is lots of different. I just woke up. Wait, B flat major 7. You've written a 7 and then an E minor 7, then a D major 9, flat 7. D major 9, flat 7. Right, I don't know what you're writing. B major 7, E minor 9. No, B7. So 4 chords. So like that. Doesn't really, right. B flat, E minor. 8 chords if you want. Just those chords. Not pure imagination, is it? I can't remember what key I used to play it in. Alexa, play Pure Imagination. Oh, no. Alexa, stop. rewrites the B7 to B flat. If you're bored, play over just the two of us. B4. What have I done there? Right, I've lost it. Right, let's try it. Bend some more. Hamza asked about the HX Stomp, is it still worth buying? That's one piece of gear that I feel like there's so much in there and it's like reasonably priced that it wouldn't feel to me egregious if something came out like a year or so after. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like not a crazy flagship model or anything like that. If anyone has any other questions, any other suggestions for songs to try and butcher, I am listening and I'm here for you. It's Friday night. This is a full helix right now, but as someone who looks at this stuff, I would say that right now doesn't look like a sensible time to buy a full helix, but a helix HX Stomp to me still seems like it'd be a good deal. Saturday morning, Australia. There's a few Aussies here then. What part of Australia are you in? Right, anyone got any requests or things to talk about? I think someone was asking about breaking out of a box earlier, so I don't know if they need help. If anyone's got a hammer for them. Is it dumb to use actual pedals with an HX because I don't want them to go to waste? No, it's not dumb at all. My board is a hybrid board, and actually live, most of what I'm using my HX Stomp for is 2 delays, a little bit of reverb, and then front of house gets a Grammatico GSG. Do you have any tips for jazz comping? I'm not an expert on that. What I concentrated on with jazz was actually more actually learning chord melody. That to me is the thing that fewer people can do. So like if you showed up somewhere and like they asked you to play a bit of jazz, like are there things that you could play that you know the material? Because basically, to my mind, anyone can do an acceptable job of comping. Not anyone, but you know what I mean. Like, that's not a rare skill. Whereas being able to play like a chord melody, or like a few chord melodies is, so say for instance you're playing. Doing that sort of thing actually kind of teaches you, I think, a lot of stuff about jazz, like learning heads in that sort of way. And if you can play a melody and play the chords, the comping starts to feel very easy in comparison. That for me was way more addictive than any other part of jazz that I've managed to. etc. All that bollocks. So that would be. I don't have good advice for like becoming an amazing composer or any part of jazz in general, but I would just say what I found super satisfying and made me feel like I could sit next to another jazz player and sort of hold my own a little bit was this idea that I could do some amount of like chord melody stuff, and it, because some people don't know that many heads or don't retain them. That's one of my things that I can do okay. Yeah, it takes a lot of concentration, Hamza, or well, like a lot of trying not to do the wrong thing or think about it too much. It's like the hardest thing that I can do, probably. I find that quite tricky anyway. I find it quite difficult to schedule one-on-one lessons. We're missing out on the goal, guys. So I'm not going to be able to down another bottle or something. Actually, not your goal. Roland asked the same question. It's not something I do tons of, to be honest. I do like the very odd. It is almost midnight, yeah. We're getting there. Ian started typing something then. Sorry, that was not the time for this. Yeah, I've done occasional ones. I try to fit them in very occasionally, but it's a bit of a tricky one when my internet is crap at some sort of days. There's a Rubicon, Jim. But there's other things I could down, like that was gone. What do you need to make HX Stomp work? Are you talking about home or live or what? At home, I use JBL LSR 305 studio monitors. Those are pretty good. It's actually the end of a bottle, Jim. So. Can I refund that? Is that possible? Does it say I can time you out? I can remove you as a moderator. It doesn't say I can refund it, bruh. I'm sorry. I'll buy you a coffee in person. My monitors are plugged into my computer. Do you like the Avery 251 Tele? I've never played one. Spanish coffee, yeah, if I could find one. Dan has a question. How long did it take before you felt like you're really comfortable setting up your S-style guitars? Any tip for people starting to do their own setups? I wouldn't say if there's one thing that I would say about this, I think setups are sort of a little bit, maybe just a little bit, over, what would be the word? Overcomplicated. I think generally what I've found with my guitars is that they need maybe like a little bit of, thanks so much, by the way, Richard, a little bit of like a truss rod adjustment sometimes a year. But if you put basically new strings on, I find that all of the issues that I've felt that I've had with guitars in the past, like, wow, the intonation's not quite right, generally have been because I've got a set of old strings on. Freddie asks if I'll ever fiddle on a 7-string. I have done. I don't think I've done a video on a 7-string. I've done a video on an 8. My buddy, maybe I have. David Beebe let me borrow a 7-string for a while. I played it very briefly. What are some famous guitars that I dislike? I really dislike guitars with no headstock. That's like an irrational dislike of mine. How does a PRS compare to the Sir? Is a question here. I would say that's quite an easy one to answer. The Sir is much more of like a super Strat kind of vibe, whereas this is very much sort of just a bog standard Strat sort of vibe with a few little refinements, but it feels like a Strat basically. Whereas I find Sirs feel a little bit more streamlined, a bit more refined. PRS more vintage, yeah, exactly. Did they say that, Luke? Yeah, so that would be my advice for getting started with setups. I used to, pay for my guitars to get set up when I was a kid, and the more I look back, the more I think, well, probably they were just putting new strings on these things, and you maybe give them a bit of a zhuzh up with some, some lemon-smelling stuff. But basically, yeah, if you just clean off your fretboard, unless you're changing gauge on your strings or your action is wildly changed, then other bits are set up at, not so essential until you've got like a real issue like frets, getting too low where you've played loads. That's generally what I've found with guitars. Accepting, of course, that in different parts of the world you're going to have different experiences, and especially if you're travelling with a guitar, you might have to need that. Your leg's not jelly, been standing for 3 hours. Well, standing's a good thing for the back, innit? Actually the longest I've got to play guitar in a while, right? And without the stream even crashing. Your son is still sleeping. I don't have a son, I have a daughter, but she is. You can see that she's still very much... Yeah, it's good. She sleeps really well this part of the night, generally. How did you learn to shred? Just sit beside a metronome for hours? Yeah, literally. Well, it wasn't even a metronome in the first instance. It was like a keyboard with a backing track thing. So you like press A and it would play an A minor or whatever. No, Elodie's a daughter. It's all right. You're not to know. It's fine. What's the amp? I'm using Helix Floor. Joseph, welcome. Yeah, so I would just sit like with a keyboard playing like just with a drum beat, and I ramp that up in speed and stuff like that. A lot of John Petrucci stuff was, I guess, what I would learn. Why are you biting your toes so much, bud? Sausage donor. Give 3 cheers for Fenton, who's been very well behaved today. Wait, where were we in terms of asking questions? Oh, cheers, Andre. How do I actually pronounce your name? Oh, thank you so much. That's really appreciated. Stuck at 130 BPM. What are you playing at 130 BPM? Is that 16th notes or is that sextuplets? Right, I might need to let these dogs out a sec. Hamza, if you just give me some more questions and tell me some more detail. 16th notes. So, give me a second. You need to go out. There's a Nemo here as well. Right, don't go doing anything. So, I think this is what I'm going to talk about in a video coming up. Do you think a bassist should have to learn guitar? Don't do that, dogs. Oi! Next door's dog's talking to our dog. I think bassists can learn guitar if they want, and vice versa. They are strung instruments after all. 16th at 130 BPM. So there's this point, I think, where some people just get stuck. And I think there's a thing that at some point you do need to just start ramping the speed up. And if you've been stuck on a speed for a long time, then I wonder if it's just time to start moving. How long have you been on that? So I think possibly you've reached a point where you're feeling like you can't go faster, and you need to feel like you can go faster. I had to hit mute with my German Shepherd. I'm sorry, Ian. That was Nemo and Fenton outside talking to Bilbo. Do Thunderstruck 137 BPM. Do it for you. That's not right, is it? No. Okay. And if you can play Thunderstruck, you can play all the... I think it's the other ones. That's like their most unique song, isn't it? Come in. Hey. Where are you, bud? So yeah, what I would do would be to start thinking about just pushing things up beyond where you're feeling comfortable. But yeah, like, just start trying to play faster. And this is one of the things where you have to stop worrying so much maybe about accuracy and start getting into some taper. Yeah, taper? Just start getting into trying to play faster even if your accuracy goes down. Do I still practice piano? No. My scale practice is 8th at 130 BPM. It's cool. It starts where it starts, and we're all on that. So yeah, I've been practicing this Derek Wells lick that I think Jake would have been playing by now. But I'm trying to push the tempo on that, and so what I'm necessarily thinking I'm doing is that I'm going to just have to push it beyond where it's comfortable. Wife just asked how the cleaning is going. Yeah. We're streaming, we're not cleaning. Right. Right, so I've got it at like 199 here. So, Hamza, what you want to do is take your tempo that you're at, 130, whatever it is, and play your thing that you're trying to play fast. I mean, basically, it'd be only like one thing that you're working on at a time, like ramping up the speed. So that's half tempo for me. So what I'm trying to do is push this to, so that I'm going between right. I can't do it right now. This is too fast. Let's just slow it down to like something more reasonable. 2, 3, 4. So this is the gold tempo. 4, 3, 4. So then switch back to your half time. 3, 4. I'm gonna do it. There's a video coming up on this. 3, 4. Three, 4. Yeah, when you do really fast stuff, a lot of the time for many players, it becomes no longer just wrist, and forearm is totally valid. Like, there's lots of players that do it, especially when it's like really fast, shreddy things. And I think that's where that came from for me. It's like John Petrucci stuff. 4. Ah. Staying relaxed, keeping this thumb part here relaxed is kind of key. And you'll probably find, though, that there is a tempo where your technique has to change. And maybe that's what you're finding, is that you're kind of trying to keep everything relaxed. And maybe you're just not adapting. So I think basically what starts to happen is as you get closer to faster speeds, things tend to flatten out, for me at least, and that seems to be the thing that happens. Your technique kind of just changes up a bit. And away from this super loose, like, wristy type stuff. And I think that maybe is like a bit of a switch that has to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 3, 4. Be another day lick. Something around that, innit? That sort of stuff. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's in B, innit? With the John Petrucci stuff, there was a lot of that stuff, and totally for that, like a sort of more tensy forearm thing kind of works quite nicely for that sort of bollocks. But yeah, the things like Fatal Tragedy as well has a really hard. And things like that. But that was the sort of thing I practiced quite a lot of. And that sort of thing. Right, let's try and bump this tempo up a bit. 3, 4. But so you see, like, it's not totally comfortable for me here. So I'm still bumping it up a bit anyway because I want to try and get beyond where it's comfortable, if you know what I mean. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so make sure that the thing that you're trying to do fast, you completely locked down in terms of you play it the same every time. You're not doing different fingerings each time. Cheers, Derek. I outlasted you. Nice one, Derek. Cheers. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. You know what I mean? So pushing it so you're at this sort of like uncomfortable stage where maybe you're not nailing everything, and incorporating that into your practice as well. Maybe keeping a note of that and seeing where you get with that for a while. And this is what I was talking about earlier, like a sort of thing I want to do a bit more of. And if I did this for sort of 10, 20 minutes a day, would I see that start to, you know, build up? Because I think in terms of speed, I've not worked on pure speed for quite a while. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. But yeah, that's kind of, I think, what you should be thinking about doing. And then once you've spent all this time working on speed, you'll probably get to a stage where you think, actually, I should have been working on some other things. It's really not that easy to play on this guitar. 2, 3, 4. Your dad is unimpressive. Sorry, hold on. Unimpressive in some regards. Asking about how he's unimpressive. But yes, hi Eden, hope you're good. Ask your dad how the wiring's going. Explaining your medical situation to him. Also, Hamza, by the way, one of the things, sleeping on a lick that we're working on is a really good thing to do. It really helps lock in some things, is what I found. So if there's something you're finding difficult one day, practice it a lot. Practice it nice and slow so you can bed it in. And then the next day, the muscle memory thing of it, I've found for me personally, tends to kick in a bit better. Wadey. Yeah, I've been playing guitar for about, well, 3 hours and 40 minutes. And now I can't really play anymore. Right, what should we try and play? I think wife will be home in a minute. Turn off this click. Richard, my favourite Strat pickups of all time are Lola Dirty Blondes. This one's for you, Adi. Well, Elodie doesn't normally sleep all the way through. Yeah, she's not. She's normally better than my internet is for the stream. Hey, it's the weekend now, Chris. It's the weekend now, people. It's also nearly March. Hey, there we go. Wadey, oh, what are you doing, son? There's something. She loves that little. She does love those little cards, Wadey. And that drawing thing we use all the time. I don't. You might not be able to. Can you see it? There on top of the slide. None jungler that's coming to Devon and stealing your bandwidth. Oh, the jewelry box. Yeah, she really loves that. So she's been putting her letters into that. It's on the floor over there. I kicked it by accident the other day and it made a little tinkle. She tends to hide stuff in these little boxes, so it's kind of like. And it's a horse in the jewelry box to her because she doesn't know unicorn yet. Where is the dogs? Here's a dog. There's Nemo. Oh, that's awesome. I think they just announced it today, right? I saw Leon had done a video with it. So there's Nemo, the three-legged sausage boy. He's been swimming today. There's Elsa, who is his mum. I'm not going to bother all of the dogs. And I should probably think about getting going so I can let these dogs out. But I do really appreciate you all checking in on the stream. Quentin was on earlier. And thanks so much for stopping by. And thanks to everyone who bothers to, continue watching and commenting on videos and stuff like that. I do appreciate it. I recognise there's a lot of videos, but, if I wasn't doing that, well, I don't know what I would be doing. Their disposition is exactly the same. They are quite similar dogs. Nemo's actually quite a lot higher strung than Elsa. Elsa's a very chill dog, so if you met Elsa, she'd be fine. Whereas Nemo's a bit of a tosser. Alan Holdsworth there, ballsed up at the end. Right, thanks so much for everyone stopping by, and thanks for everyone who's made a super chat and donated. Wadey, that's obviously too much, and yeah, sleep tight. It's a good chat. Jim, I don't know what time it is where you are. Cheers, Chris. That's probably the longest I've ever done. Will John get an EC58 Gibson custom guitar? What's the EC? I probably doubt it. Maybe a Nacho. Cheers everyone for getting involved, and I'll catch you soon. Deep Gimpact. Right, I'll do you a private stream now with the Rubicon. Catch you in a bit, and again, cheers for stopping by. I'll try and catch you on one of these at some point. If any of you are going up to the Birmingham Guitar Show, I'm going there on the Sunday. Can it be the title? That's the longest one I've done. Wait, how do I change that? Let me change that then. That's the longest one I've ever seen. There you go. Right. Thanks so much, guys. I'll catch you again. Just keep thinking of Gwyneth Paltrow. Cheers.